The Dudesy podcast used AI to have George Carlin saying, "I'm glad I'm dead." But now the Carlin Estate is telling the Dudesy crew, "You'll wish you were dead," after they served them with a copyright infringement suit. What up, friends? I'm Phil Buck, and you're tuned into AI Roundup, a weekly report of everything AI related. And if you like the coverage here on the show, help me out and hit that like button and sub to the channel. All right, today we're following up on a previous episode about the Dudesy podcast, a comedy show featuring Will Sasso, Chad Kultgen, and a comedy AI called Dudesy. They recently released a posthumous AI-generated George Carlin special called "I'm Glad I'm Dead," which has had the internet buzzing. And in the latest developments surrounding this special, the estate of George Carlin, namely his daughter Kelly, has filed a lawsuit against the creators of the AI-generated stand-up special. The special features a chatbot, aka Dudesy, trained on Carlin's material, mimicking his iconic voice and style. In an article from Variety, it's quoted, "Dudesy podcast hosts Will Sasso and Chad Kultgen are named as defendants, along with 20 John Does, 5 creators associated with the AI program, and 15 individuals tied to the creation, production, and sponsorship of the special." The heart of this controversy? The Carlin Estate claims that this AI recreation is an unauthorized use of Carlin's work and, quote, "a casual theft of the legacy of a great American artist." It raises a fundamental question: where do we draw the line between technological homage and intellectual property infringement? I think, considering that the creation of this special most definitely relies on voice cloning technology, which, that would require a substantial sampling of recordings of George Carlin, it's pretty clear this one does cross a line. If you watch the Dudesy episodes surrounding the special, then you can hear the show's co-host, Chad Kultgen, detail how a special like this would be created in a hypothetical way so as to avoid breaking kayfabe and leaving all the credit and or blame on Dudesy. While I can agree with, and I even commend how he details a human would need to study George Carlin's work to reproduce jokes in his style, he goes on to talk about how an AI voice synthesizer would be used to create the audio for this special, as you might suspect. If Chad had written jokes in Carlin's style and simply read them off in his own best vocal impression of Carlin, I don't think there would be any controversy, or probably any buzz for that matter, about this special. But once you use the AI tech to literally steal his voice, it's definitely a preamble for legal actions. Kultgen goes on to reference how so many other people have already replicated George Carlin's voice for other humorous endeavors, such as there's live Twitch streams that replicate Carlin's voice and image, as well as meme videos that have done the same thing. And he kind of laments the fact that, like, why is this special getting so much attention and hate? He even says he received death threats in his DMs, and I'm sorry, I guess that I shouldn't be laughing at that, but when you zoom out, it's a little bit funny. So I think there's a worthy comparison to be made for the earlier days of hip-hop, when sampling audio was an extremely common method for the production of the beats, going all the way back to beat juggling on turntables. Using previous records to compose a new track is not a new practice, and in that case, literally, you got the records right there. But jump forward to 1997, when Puff Daddy samples The Police's "Every Breath You Take" for his hit "I'll Be Missing You," dedicated to the late Notorious B.I.G. This sample ended up costing P. Diddy handsomely in royalties. Later on in a court case, Sting was awarded 100% of the royalties for the song instead of the standard 25%, and it's because he didn't get the licensing to use that sample. And in the case of Dudesy's special and the P. Diddy 97 hit, was it really a question of right or wrong? Or is it more of a question of just being too successful? I mean, clearly it's a little bit of both. I've sampled dozens of songs for my own music, and I've never been served for unauthorized use of other people's recordings because nobody cared about that music that I made. "I'll Be Missing You" was a #1 hit across the globe, and Dudesy's "I'm Glad I'm Dead" had over 500,000 views on YouTube last time I checked, which was a while ago, so it's probably more than that, but we'll circle back to that here in just a minute. Really, I think the most important aspect of this is that Dudesy accomplished what they set out to do with this special, which was to get lots of eyes and attention for their podcast. And as they say, where there's smoke, there's fire, or rather, what I mean in this particular case by that is that with the buzz that has their name in dozens of publications comes the heat of a lawsuit from the Carlin Estate. So as for the views on YouTube, I wasn't really sure I wanted to cover this story yet so that I could kind of wait and see more of the fallout from this. But as of the time of recording this video, the Dudesy special has been taken down, which is something I highly anticipated that happening. And the removal of the video is actually a condition of the pending lawsuit, as well as they're seeking an undisclosed amount for damages. So with all that being said, I think this development for Dudesy is a meaningful implication for what it means to use AI to create content and maybe beyond. This lawsuit will have creators thinking twice now before they try to replicate a comedian or a celebrity, dead or alive, for their own content. And that implication may go far beyond cloning someone's voice. I mean, this could have implications for, training on data that you don't have the authorization for. You might be able to do it and you might even get away with it. But if you achieve your goals of making something that really goes viral, or just in general, something that is successful, you might just find a lawsuit in your lap. And I guess depending on who you are, that could be a good or a bad thing. And that's it for today's AI Roundup. What are your thoughts on the Carlin AI special? Let us know if you hate it or if you support Dudesy by dropping a comment below, and join us in the MMN Discord for a more heated debate. And as always, if you're enjoying the show, help me out, hit that like button and sub to the channel. All right, signing off for this January 31st episode of AI Roundup. I'm Phil Buck, and I'll see you next time.
This has been a broadcast of the MSP Media Network.